Hey guys, today I'm gonna do essentially a planner process video, and I wanted to kind of do a Hobonichi Cousin 101 LindseyScribbles style and just kind of walk you through what I use between my tools, tips and tricks, and kind of how I organize and work within this planner. So first thing I want to talk about is pens, because I do get asked about this a ton. What pens do I use in my Cousin? And I primarily use a Tombow brush pen, a Uni Jetstream ballpoint pen in 0.5, a Tombow Fudenosuke, and a Zebra mild liner, and these are kind of my go-to. I've tried other pens in here, but this is sort of the formula for successful happy planning, in my opinion. And I do have a Hobonichi Cousin. It is an A5 size. It's a Japanese planner. A Cousin has monthly, weekly, and daily spreads within this planner, along with some pre-setups. And then I do have this in a FoxyFix cover. This is the sugar leather and cookie. I've got cream stitching and cream elastics and crisscross pockets in the front, and then it just comes with a big old pocket in the back. So I think that's kind of the basics. So I think we'll just jump into the process. So flipping through, the first thing you've got in a Cousin is a year at a glance. Then you have last year at a glance and next year at a glance. I've tried various different ways of using my year at a glance. At the first half of the year, I was trying to track my travel because I used to travel every week for work. I now primarily work from home, so this wasn't as useful to me, nor did I really reference it. And then I tried to move my cycle tracker down here below, but I found that I wasn't really referencing it either. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to use this for next year, but I'm still brainstorming. Next, we have what I assume is the future log, but I use it more as an index or a calendex for my daily pages. I love bullet journaling and collections and lists, and pretty much what I do is, if you go to my, I guess let's just flip to November. If you go to my daily pages, what you will notice, I do a lot of daily journaling and a lot of different collections. So I've got a collection information on TSA PreCheck, but then a little bit of daily journaling. I also print a lot of pictures and things like that of just things I'm into recently, or whatever fandom I'm really into, things I am pinning, and I will print those out on matte sticker paper and sort of decorate my pages with that. But right here, this is an index for my October debits and credits, which is just something I use with our financing. And then if you go back to the calendex, you can see that I have indexed October 12th is October debits and credits. So that's essentially how I use this. I tried doing a couple different things to figure out how I wanted to use it, but this works best for me as a calendex. I kind of consider my Hobonichi to be my system of reference. So I will pull in other planners every now and then, just depending on what my mood is or how productive I need to be. But for the most part, the Cousin is my go-to. This is my end-all be-all. This is what I will keep for a couple years and continue to reference until I no longer need it, and then I'll pass it along. So I do color code my index just by different things, and I did switch my color code up from first half of the year to second half of the year. This half of the year I use mild liners, and basically I've got a color for trackers, daily to-do lists, overall collections, full memory, journaling spreads, a running list, things to do with my honeymoon, recipes, and things for my sister's wedding. So everything in this yellow is a running list, which is technically a collection, but they're things that I just look at from month to month. So an Atlanta bucket list is technically a collection, but it's a list I'm actively going back and checking things off on, versus to me a collection would be on October 1st I have TSA PreCheck info, so it's something that I'm going to reference, not necessarily something that I'm going to check off. I tried using this as a habit tracker, and I love how that looks. There's a couple spreads I've seen on Instagram. I think that's amazing, but does not necessarily work for me, is what I've learned. So next year I plan on doing very similar thing. And then this is something I was doing a separate page for my monthly photo, but I think I'm gonna pop them down here because this sizing is about perfect. If I have an Instax Polaroid camera, is that it? It's not an Instax. I don't remember the brand, but it's one of those Polaroid printers that you just like print a digital photo to, and if you cut it in half, it's about perfectly the size. So I think I'm going to do that for my year-end pictures. The next thing you have in the Hobonichi Cousin is your monthly spread. So you get a nice sidebar, you get a month on 2 pages. It is a Monday start, and every Sunday is in red and every holiday is in red, but they are Japanese holidays, not English holidays or American holidays or whatever it is. So basically I've learned to ignore the colors, and the way I use my monthly spreads is I will pre-plan, follow birthdays, and then I do my highlights of the days along with some like monthly favorites. I think later in the year I started doing my habit tracker, and that worked out really well for me, and it's something that I do plan on continuing into next year. But I love having the monthly highlights pages. It's a good way to kind of mow through some character stickers if you've got a stash like I do, but I love having a visual representation of my month, and it's a quick way for me to go back and like jog my memory on when people's birthdays were, if I'm filling out for next year, or if I need to go back and put something into a collection. And it's also, I don't know, I think they're fun. I like to look at them. And I've tried different things out, but definitely something that I'm going to continue into next year. Next, in the Cousin, you've got your weekly spreads. So let me find a blank one. So this is what a blank week looks like. You get a sort of like your month at a glance. It highlights the week that you're currently in. The one thing I love about the Cousin is that even though this is a Japanese planner, there's a fair amount of English in it, enough for it to be very functional to me. Like you still get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 12 is sort of universal language. They do spell out the month. And then I love this. It tells you what part of the week you're in. And that is something that I need to survive my work life. So absolutely love that. They are timed. So it starts at 5 a.m. and it ends at 4 a.m. So you do get a full 24 hours per day, and you get nice full vertical spreads for every day of the week. My biggest complaint with the planner is when they combine a Saturday and Sunday. I'm super busy on the weekends because I cram so much into a weekend that I need the separate days. I get asked a lot if these are sized for like an Erin Condren box. They are about 4 millimeters too small to actually fit a full Erin Condren box. So whenever you see a full box sticker in my planner, if they are within Monday through Saturday, I have trimmed them down just using like a slice tool. But on the sidebar, there's like a little bit of overhang that you can kind of get a full box sticker. It'll fit within the page. It'll just overhang the grid. And then same thing on Sunday, it will fit within the page, but I'll overhang the daily grid. So flipping back so you can kind of see how I use my weekly spreads. I use a lot of character stickers, and I don't particularly use a lot of kits, but something that I will do is I will put events typically either in a bolder font or I will highlight it, but otherwise it's just running to-do lists. I tend to put a space between to-dos, so to-do, blank space, to-do, blank space. And then I check them off. Something that I've done for a long time is I kind of double cross out tasks. I will check off tasks and then cross them off. Sometimes I'll check them off when I start and then cross off when I finish, depending on how long the task is going to take. I try different things each week, and I've sort of just like found a system that works for me. I love using character stickers in this planner. I think they're really cute. They complement the spreads well. I have sort of like a goal of no more than 3 stickers a day. I definitely break my own rule a lot, but I find that having no more than 3 character stickers per day kind of keeps the pages a little bit more minimalistic, a little bit more functional, and I don't feel so overwhelmed. But like, there's 5 stickers on this page, that's fine. I still think that looks good. It's everyone's style. It's just for me personally. I find that less is a little bit best. Around September, I started highlighting tasks with a mild liner instead of crossing them off when I completed them. I think I did that for about a month, and I did really like how that looked as well. Like, this is one of my all-time favorite spreads, and it was just super minimal. Using a gray mild liner to cross off tasks, and then all my events and meetings were with a red mild liner. So as you can see, it just sort of depends. And then I do use a lot of character stickers, but my rule is no more than 2 characters per week. And I use a lot of HappyDayaStickers as well, but I don't really consider hers to be a character stickers because I'm just using like the pandas. But like, so this week I did Happy Daya and the CoffeeMonsterzCo, CoffeeMonsterzCo and Happy Daya. This is Whimsical Cat Studio and CoffeeMonsterzCo, and then next week I did CoffeeMonsterzCo and Happy Daya. So I just try and keep it between the two. I use a ton of Kina prints, as you'll see if I like flip through, and then Some Little Things is another one that I use a lot, and then Pumpkin Paper Co. and Whimsical Cat Studios are kind of like the my go-tos, if you will. But like, see, no more than 2 characters per week, because I find if I've got like Whimsical Cat Studios, Kina Prints, and the CoffeeMonsterzCo, it can be just, for me, it looks a little bit busy for my personal taste. So I do pre-plan in here. So I will typically plan the Friday before a week starts, and then as I go throughout the day, I will add in memories, more to-dos, check things off, migrate what needs to be migrated. And as I plan, even though I will have like December budgets written on Monday, if I don't get to budgeting for December until Friday, that's fine. I just check it off on Monday, even though it happened on Friday. I really treat this as more of like a weekly task list than a daily specific task list, because I don't like migrating things and moving things around. It gets too messy. This is when I want to get things done. As long as everything gets done within the week, I'm pretty good to go. And my sidebar, I have sort of settled on this system where I track the hours that I work, my daily weigh-ins, and then my workouts. I shoot for 6 workouts a week. Doesn't always happen. A workout could be an hour-long walk, a 30-minute run. It just sort of depends. Or I could like lift weights. It's just whatever it is, as long as I do something 6 days a week. I already kind of showed you these, but then you bump into the daily pages. Let me find a blank one so you can kind of get a feel for the layout. So here is blank daily spreads. You get the date, the day of the week, the day of the year, and then the lunar phase. And the bottom you have a quote. It does typically spread across both pages, and they are all in Japanese. They do not have an English version of the cousin. They do have an English version of like the original Techo, so they will actually translate the quotes for you. But you don't get that with the cousin, which is fine. I kind of like it. One, because I do speak, I call it survival Japanese, and I'm really working on my reading and writing. So this has been kind of like a fun way to recognize different characters and sort of phonetically sound my way through some words. So that was kind of a fun daily exercise for this year. But within the daily, you get 5 check boxes up here at the top. You get a 24-hour little mini calendar, but instead of having 2 squares per hour, you get 1 square or 1 row per hour. So you do get a 24-hour calendar, and then there's like plenty of writing room over here. And then in the bottom right, they do have like a mini calendar for, and then they circle the 2 days for your 2-day spread. You do get 365 days in here. The planners start a little bit earlier, like typically, I think I showed this spread. So this is the 2019 cousin, but you still get December of 2018 in here. When you go to your weeks, they are full weeks. So the first week of the year, you get the Monday of 2018, and then the last week of the year, you get, even though it ends on Tuesday, you get the rest of the week, but the dailies don't start until January 1. Yeah, January 1, which was a Tuesday, and then they end on December 31st. And then again, just the way I do my daily pages, I do a collection. This is what gets indexed in the future log, and then just some sort of daily journaling. I don't journal every day. I just sort of write when I feel like writing, and if I want to journal about my day, I'll journal about my day, but I don't have any rules around it. I just knew I wanted to do more writing in 2019. So sometimes they're just like stream of conscious writing. Sometimes it is venting about a particular frustration I have at work. Sometimes it's like, I don't know, creative writing. I have a lot of like fan fiction ideas that I'm throwing around, and I'll kind of write out a scene that I've been thinking about so I don't lose it and I can find it later. Sometimes it's, I call it fake it till you make it writing. So I'll basically write as if I've already achieved my goal and pretending that that's my reality. And it just sort of goes back and forth. So whatever it is, I try and get in a little bit of writing every day. I don't get to the writing every day, to be honest. Like sometimes I'll be like 2 or 3 days behind and then I'll catch up. Like as you can see, I'm like very behind in November, but then other days I've like gone ahead and like I've done my journaling. So it just sort of depends on how I'm feeling. But I have pretty much filled out every single daily page with something, which was something I was not expecting to do. And I definitely am going to go through and make sure like I get caught up, because I've never filled out a planner in full. So this is kind of exciting to do that. But I do keep a little bit of like ephemera, larger stickers. I pull in most of these that you guys see like for collections on Instagram. I do the titles and the Tombow Fudenosuke, and then I'm using a Sakura Pigma Micron to do the writing portion just in a bolder font, but then otherwise all my journaling is in that same Uni Jetstream 0.5, which is the pen that comes with the Hobonichi. I just have a different body style that I got off of Jet Pens. This is a multi-pen. It's got black, red, and then a 0.5 millimeter pencil, which I love having those three. So these are just, they're a useful body style for me. And I have had that pen all year, and I think I've bought 4 or 5 different refills. I do use the shiitake or pencil board that comes with the planners. I'm sorry, it doesn't come with the planners, but they're by Hobonichi brand. I think I've got 3 or 4 of them at this point, and I just keep them in various points in the system. I always have one with my weekly, and I typically have one with my dailies, and then I know I've got a third one that I usually keep around my monthly, but it doesn't always happen. When I do use a pencil board, I just use a binder clip to sort of put the page under tension, and I find that my handwriting looks a lot better. And especially if you're on the go and you don't necessarily have a table with you, this is very finicky paper. It took me a long time to get used to the Tomoe River paper, and the pencil board has sort of been a lifesaver. And then just like totally giving up gel pens. Some people can use gel pens in this. You have the patience of a saint if you can use a gel pen in this. I just use my Jetstream. I don't have to wait to highlight. I can highlight immediately, no smearing, and that was 100% worth like just getting used to it. It took me probably about 2 months to like give up my gel pens, but once I gave them up, like this became planner piece in basically an instant. So this is a bullet journal, planner, memory keeper, everything all in one, and I absolutely love it. It was the planner piece I wasn't looking for, but I totally found it, and I am excited. I'm definitely using one for 2020, and I will be moving into that soon, and hopefully I can record some of that for you guys. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.